It all began with a quiet evening that turned into the conversation that would change everything. Sarah and I had been together for 2 years. We had our ups and downs, but like most couples, we thought our bond was unbreakable. We lived in a small apartment in the city, enjoying simple moments. Weekend getaways, cozy dinners, late-night talks. She was my best friend, and I was hers. Then, one night, out of the blue, she asked me if I'd be open to discussing something important. I had no idea what was coming. "Let's talk about the future of our relationship," she began, her voice calm, but her eyes holding a certain intensity I hadn't seen before. "I've been thinking a lot lately, and I think we should consider an open relationship." I froze. "What do you mean?" I asked, trying to make sense of what she was saying. Sarah wasn't the type to bring up something so out of the blue. She explained it slowly, like she was testing the waters. "I love you, but I feel like I need to experience more of life, meet new people, explore things outside of just us. It doesn't mean I don't care about you, it's just, I feel like I'm not living fully." The words hit me like a cold wave. I had always imagined a future with Sarah, one built on trust, loyalty, and shared dreams. But now, she was telling me that she wanted to open the door for both of us to see other people. The thought was gut-wrenching, but instead of rejecting the idea outright, I hesitated. Part of me wanted to understand. I wanted to respect her wishes, even if they seemed foreign to me. I asked her why. Why now? Why not try to work through things together? She explained that she felt restricted by the traditional boundaries of a committed relationship, like she was being held back from fully experiencing herself. The hardest part was when she reassured me. "It's not about you not being enough. It's about me wanting more freedom. You're everything to me, but I just need space to grow in different ways." In my heart, I knew that agreeing to an open relationship was a terrible idea. But I was blinded by my love for her, by the hope that maybe this was just a phase, and if I didn't agree, it would only push her further away. So, I agreed. We sat there, talking about the terms, the rules, and how it would all work. It felt like a betrayal already, but I didn't want to lose her. What followed was a slow, painful unraveling of everything I thought I knew. At first, there were casual talks about other people, and I tried to stay open-minded. But as the weeks went on, Sarah began to change. She started going out more, spending more time away from home, and when she was home, she was distant, lost in her own world. I was no longer her priority. I would ask where she had been, what she had been doing, and she would give vague answers. The trust that had once been the foundation of our relationship was slipping away, and I could feel it. But I told myself I was being paranoid, that this was just a phase, and I had to trust her if I wanted to make this work. Then one evening, everything came crashing down. I came home early from work and found her phone unlocked on the kitchen counter. For a moment, I debated whether or not I should look through it, but curiosity and a deep sense of something not being right got the best of me. What I found left me breathless. Messages, pictures, and texts that confirmed my worst fears. Sarah had been seeing someone else. Not just casually, but in a way that screamed intimacy and emotional connection. There were details in the messages that crushed me. She had fallen for him, had spent entire weekends with him, all while I thought we were still trying to figure out our open relationship. I confronted her immediately. The anger and hurt surged through me as I asked, "Why didn't you tell me? Why did you lie to me?" Sarah didn't even try to deny it. In fact, she seemed strangely calm, almost relieved. "I didn't want to hurt you," she said, looking down at her hands. "But it happened, and I can't ignore it. I'm in love with him." I was devastated. Everything we had built, every promise we'd made, had been shattered in an instant. The woman I had trusted with my heart had betrayed me in the most painful way possible. The worst part? She wasn't even sorry. She justified it by saying that she needed to explore, to experience love in different ways, and that it had nothing to do with me. When I broke up with her, I thought it would be the hardest thing I'd ever do, but in a strange way, it felt like a relief. The weight of betrayal was heavy, but the thought of finally letting go of someone who no longer respected me brought a sense of freedom I hadn't expected. A few weeks passed, and I began to heal. But then Sarah came back into my life in the most unexpected way. One day, she called me. The anger in her voice was palpable. I heard you're dating my best friend," she said, her tone cold and sharp. "How could you do that to me?" It felt like a slap in the face. After everything she had done, after she had broken my heart and humiliated me, she was now furious because I had moved on. I could barely contain my disbelief. "You don't get to be angry, Sarah," I said, my voice shaking with a mix of hurt and anger. "You made your choices, and now I'm living my life. You have no right to tell me who I can and can't be with." She tried to argue, but I could hear the crack in her voice. She had no ground to stand on. She had cheated, betrayed me, and yet here she was, angry that I had found someone who actually cared for me. The irony wasn't lost on me. Sarah had pushed me away, broken my heart, and then had the audacity to act like I owed her something. I realized then how much I had changed. I was no longer the person who would bend over backward to please someone who didn't value me. I had learned the hard way that love wasn't about sacrifice at the expense of your own happiness. It was about mutual respect, trust, and care, and I was no longer willing to compromise on that. As for Sarah, I'm not sure if she ever really understood how much she hurt me. But I had already moved on. I was dating someone who had been there for me when I was at my lowest, and the support and love I found with her was something I'd never take for granted. Life goes on, and now I can look back at that chapter with a sense of peace. I was betrayed, but in the end, I learned that the greatest revenge isn't anger. It's living your life well, being happy, and moving forward with the people who truly care about you.